It's a vicious cycle, ladies and gentlemen. But I also see individuals who are survivors, people who are beating the odds, people who are courageous, people who are bold, people who are tenacious, and people who really wanted to make a difference. It will take individuals like you in order to make a problem lessened. So I'm encouraged, ladies and gentlemen, by your attendance here today and your willingness to work together to solve a set of problems that are collective, communal, sociological, psychological, and physiological, and existential, and grounded and undergirded by all manner of public policy and history. But we have to do the tough work, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we have to see the problem, and we have to be willing to create and ask the questions such as, who are we and what do we want for every American? Not some Americans, but all Americans. When we see some people hurting, do we say, oh, that's those people? Or do we say, those are our people? And therefore, we will do what we can to support our people as opposed to those people. They're deserving of help. They're deserving of incarceration. Their problem is more important than their problem because their problem was caused by moral failings and their problems were caused by pharmaceutical companies. Again, a regurgitation and repeating of issues that got us in the problem in the first place, which is why we got to define the problem. So now, what can we do and what are some solutions? Well, we have to define it, and hopefully I've done a decent framing for you relative to the short amount of time that I have to unpack a very complex issue. But we have to say, okay, so what do we want for every American and what do we believe about every American? And what should every American have when they fall upon challenges? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that every American should have an opportunity to be all that they can be. I believe that every American should have access to health care when they need it. I believe that every American should not only have access to health care, but that health care be quality. It should be competent. It should help the person solve his or her problem. I also believe that it's the responsibility of the person with the problem to help themselves as much as they can. It's not just only what others can do, it's also what individuals who are struggling can do to help themselves. I also believe, ladies and gentlemen, that we must have better public policies and stable public policies through various administrations. We can't have one administration saying one thing, and we put things in place, and as soon as that administration goes out, guess what? We got somebody else with another set of ideas about how we're going to solve the problem. And when that person goes out, guess what? We got another set of ideas. And we must be cautious about who can influence those individuals who can influence individuals. Should access be granted only to those who can pay significant amounts of money to campaigns and influence what happens on university campuses and who modifies academic curriculum? Because if they do that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back to what caused some of the challenges in the first place. So we've got to be fair about and honest about what got us here and what will get us out of the condition that we're in. Because again, you can't solve a problem, as Albert Einstein famously said, and I love to quote, you can't solve a problem, ladies and gentlemen, at the same level of consciousness that created it. And we're trying to do the same things over and over and over again, and we're thinking we're going to get a different result. So then we say, well, we'll just give everybody Narcan. That's going to do it. Oh, really? It will bring a person back to life, but will it help them deal with their psychological challenges, the physiological challenges, the existential issues, the societal challenges, and structured relationships that put too many of our citizens in predicaments? I submit to you that it won't.